seen how expensive this stuff is?
What's that?
Adobe Creative Suite 5.
Yeah, man, I think it's like $3,000.
$25.99.
Close enough.
Who would buy that?
I wouldn't buy it. I would actually go. You ever heard of torrents?
Torrents.
Yeah.
What's a torrent?
BitTorrent is a way to transfer files between a peer and another peer, and a peer is anyone using a single computer.
You can pretty much get your Adobe Creative Suite for free.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it legal?
Technically no. But I mean, you can check it out. Go to Google.
Okay.
And look up piratebay.org. I mean, it even sounds suspect, but you know, don't tell anybody.
Okay.
Yeah. And here at Pirate Bay, you can do a search. Do a search for your Adobe Suite. And I'm almost betting that it's gonna come right up. It says Adobe Photoshop CS5 Extended Keygen. Basically, it's a list of different torrents that allow you to download the Adobe products for free.
Okay.
Yeah, free.
It's a lot better than $2,500.
A lot better.
All right. So do I just click on one of these links?
Yeah. All you gotta do is click on any link that what you want to do is click on the one with the most seeds, because you're gonna have the most successful download.
Through BitTorrent, you use what's called a swarm. When you have a central network and you have a bunch of people connected in this network, each of them called peers. So you have all these peers here, and they're all talking to each other through the network. Now, the torrent itself is split into bits. So over here, you have your file. And the program, a BitTorrent program, would split that file into pieces and those into bits. What you're actually sharing is little bits of this file. So this peer says, oh, I have this bit, I'm going to send it to this peer over here. Then this guy says, but you don't have this one, so I'll send you this one. And that process goes on until all the peers have all of the bits. In other words, everyone has the complete file.
Before you download, you want to make sure that you have some sort of software on your desktop that's going to allow you to download. What it's going to do is pretty much translate the language so you can download that software onto your desktop. Some examples are MicroTorrent, BitTorrent, Views for Mac.
Is it sort of like LimeWire?
No.
No.
Okay.
It's much better and much, I would say, much safer than LimeWire.
Another thing is, a lot of people use certain programs called LimeWire, BearShare, and these big networks. These networks work a little bit differently than a torrent does, but they use a similar principle. They use a principle called direct peer-to-peer. So what you have is two people who you would both consider a leecher and a seeder transferring a file back and forth. So let's say one person has one file and they transfer it to him, and another person transfers another file to him. This all works in a big network, but you're transferring whole files at one time. Also, networks like the Nutella network, which LimeWire and BearShare run on, happen to all use the same port over and over again. There's no randomization and there's no security. Also, most of these networks are running rampant with viruses. And recently, LimeWire was just shut down because of this, because of rampant viruses, illegal software, and other things that just shouldn't be allowed to be downloaded.
Alright, so is that the one we decided on to click on it?
Yeah, click on that one. And what you're going to do is hit download torrent. Make sure.
Download it.
Alright, good. Now you're going to go to your desktop and you see it, put it on your desktop. So you double click on that icon and it looked like it automatically opened up your micro-torrent interface, and it's asking you where you want to download it.
Okay. So yeah, the guy download. That's fine.
Okay, yeah. Okay, if you're fine with that destination, hit OK. And now what it's doing is downloading. This is basically a status bar. It shows you the size. It shows you the status downloading, how many seaters, how many pairs, the download speed, upload speed, and a bunch of other little miscellaneous stuff that I don't really care about. So now, exact time of arrival. Yeah, okay. That's important. Right now it says 1 year. Don't be scared. It's gonna speed up.
40 weeks.
Now it says 42 weeks. Jeez, you must really want that. But no, seriously, it's gonna take about 5 hours. What you do now is, just leave it alone, go to sleep, wake up next morning. It's like Christmas. You got $2,500 software on your computer ready to go.
Each peer is either a seeder or a leecher. A seeder means they have the whole complete file and they're sharing it with everybody as fast as they can. These are good things. The more seeders in a torrent swarm, the faster you're going to get the file. Everyone else is considered a leecher. A leecher is someone who has maybe that much of the file or a little bit more, but still looking for the rest of the file. So they're talking to other leechers and seeders to get that file. Leechers aren't necessarily bad, it just means they don't have the whole file, but they can still share with you just like every other peer in the network.
How do people get away with it? People get caught downloading this stuff?
I mean, I never got caught. I know a lot of people that do it and they haven't gotten caught, but there are a couple users out there that pretty much the government has made an example of them.
When it comes to legal aspects, torrenting can scratch the edge of the law. The problem is, torrenting started out as a way for people to share files. It was really easy to use because the network worked really simply. Anyone can connect with anyone who's using that program. And as long as you share this tiny little torrent file, everyone knows how to communicate it. The problem was, people soon realized that they could share paid-for programs over this network. So programs like this were no longer hosted on FTP sites where people had to go to them, download them, and hope that the bandwidth was there to download them, and overload the servers, crash the servers, and then no one could get the file. So people started using this as a way to pirate software or obtain paid-for copies for free. Important thing to remember is that piracy is not the same thing as theft. This will be fed to you by the media a lot. Theft is removing the original and taking it for your own. Piracy is copying the original and having your own personal copy. These copies aren't always perfect, and that's the price you pay when you download. Some have viruses, and that's something you have to look out for, and some just don't work fully. That's just the price of pirating. Most people, and this has been shown in several studies, download, like the program, and then they'll go ahead and pay for the program anyways. The number one reason why most people pirate is because the actual program costs too much money and they're just not in a financial position to purchase the program. So they use it just like they would a trial, and then later on, when either the program breaks or they just want the official version to put on other computers and stuff like that, then they go ahead and buy the actual software. This works the same for music and movies and any of that stuff. It's been shown in several studies that piracy has actually increased record sales and increased movie sales.
Sometimes they countersue, they get a slap on the wrist, but most of the people that get caught are the actual torrent sites themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, so
don't have too much to worry about.
Just, I mean, don't do it that like on a public domain or somewhere, you're easy to, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Somewhere where they're gonna catch you easily.
There have been a few court cases on piracy and torrenting. The big thing to remember is that torrenting is not piracy. Torrenting is simply a way to communicate a file. big games like Blizzard, World of Warcraft, those types of games, they all use torrenting to share updates so that updates can be distributed easily without overloading a server. Piracy can have some legal consequences. There have been several US court cases where millions and millions of dollars have been sued from individuals. The problem with these court cases are they are solely example stories and usually are the result of careless activities. Generally, it's not something you have to worry about, but it is something you need to be aware of.
So is there a lot of viruses can I get?
Torrents are much safer than peer-to-peer sharing in terms of downloading files. You don't really have to worry about viruses with a torrent site because pretty much what you have to look out for example, click on that.
Okay.
When you go into it, you have to make sure that you read the comments.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very important because usually somebody would say if it's a virus, somebody would say if it's cool, if it's buggy.
Like this guy right here saying that don't download, it's a fake.
Right. Don't.
Okay.
You would go to the next one. Don't need no question. Just go to the next one.
Okay.
Another thing you have to look out for is, say for example, you're downloading a song. Usually an MP3 is about 3 to 5 megs. If you want to download that song and it says that one song is 150 megs or 10K, red flag.
Just the song's not going to be actually that big.
Or small.
Or small.
So
Yeah.
just use your better judgment and move on. So those are the things you got to pretty much look out for in terms of viruses.
Currently, the RIAA, which is the Record Industry Association of America, charges $10,000 per song stolen, in their words, or pirated. $10,000. I want you to count your library at home and tell me how much money you'd owe the RIAA. The problem with this is it's outrageous for a song that costs $1 to buy on iTunes and probably around 33 cents to produce for the record company. Of that amount of money, the original artist gets about 1 to 2 cents per song. Whereas you could pirate their whole album, go to a concert, and give them the full $20 in merchandising, minus some supplier fees, but generally the profit margin is huge when compared to the actual song. So, the court cases, some of them can be ignored, but they need to be known. One important court case is the 3 members that run the Pirate Bay were arrested and put to jail for a year. After they got out, they continued to run the site as usual, and the whole time they were in jail, the site was still up and hosting torrent files. There have been several raids on Pirate Bay facilities to shut them down in several different countries, but not one of them has been able to successfully shut down the site for any more than an hour. That's just the power of piracy and what people are willing to do to share a file. And that is the original purpose of the internet, is to share.
So I would say I was downloading something. Is people going to be able to see me downloading? Are they going to be able to get into my computer and access my files?
All they can see is your IP address, and pretty much your IP address is the least you got to worry about because people always. Your IP address is easily exposed anyway. I can go to your computer and see your IP address, but there's not much that I can do with it because number one, you probably have a router, and that's some security right there. And if they really, you don't really have to worry about it in terms of torrents. All you got to worry about is your viruses, and you're pretty good. You're pretty set.
Okay, so just be careful, read my comments, and just don't download crazy stuff.
Sometimes you'll have to look at the instructions, put in the serial number, quote unquote, so you don't use the trial version, and you're good to go.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, no problem, sir. In fact, I'm gonna get that right now.
Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. You're hard-fitted indeed. Being a pirate is a right to lead. Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a